DJI Mini 3, latest update. Got that coming up next. Bill the Drone Reviewer here. If you like the content of this video or anything on my channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any future content. With that, let's begin. The other night I hosted Rotor Talk Live and was joined by very special guest Johnnie Alfonso, JohnnieDroneFlyer, along with Mr. Marcus Crawford and Mr. Ron Braun. We spent the better part of the evening discussing all the latest information regarding the DJI Mini 3, including possible pricing, availability, and possible specifications. So without any further ado, let's roll that clip in its entirety. One of the things we're going to spend kind of the rest of the show on is the Mini 3 update. Now, the first thing I like to do is go ahead and share what we have from Drone Deals that was actually out on Twitter, and I'm going to go ahead and share that here and talk about this because it does go over. Okay, and I'm going to bring the picture up here. There we go. Okay, it does go over some reported specs for it. It talked about here. Now these are the pictures. According to the new rumored specs list, the Mini 3 drone could sport 1/1/3 inch CMOS sensor, f1.7 large aperture, a gimbal tilted at a large angle, allowing you to shoot upwards, a camera supporting vertical mode, 3-directional obstacle avoidance, active track mode, an OcuSync 3 transmission system, and a new remote controller with built-in screen. Okay. So, with all that and taking a look at this on here, all right. Now, one of the things that we talked about last night on Drone Nation was the fact that this gimbal, it looks to be a 2-axis gimbal and not a 3-axis gimbal. But, with that as a drawback, but the advantage of that is this can go directly up like the Parrot and Nafi.
Yeah, and I flew to Nafi yesterday, but I saw that in writing too. There's only 2 axes, but I know people were saying that would be downgrading. So I don't know what to think about that.
Well, and I think Marcus probably brought up the point last night was the Spark was a 2-axis gimbal. It didn't have 3. And it's hard for me to remember because I had the Spark. It was like 4 years ago. Yeah. Last time I had the Spark. But he's right. It was a 2-axis gimbal, and we got great footage from it. And it's I think it's like you get used to something and you want to not do without. You know what I'm saying, Johnny? You have it, and you don't think twice about it until, oh no, this is a 2-axis gimbal. What am I going to do? Kind of a thing.
Yeah, and I know even a Nafi, it does have the ability to shoot up a little bit, but I really, maybe if you're going under I don't say a bridge, or I don't know. It's not it's something that's there, but I guess it's good to have, so I don't know how that would work out for that,
Yeah. It sounds cool. It sounds like a great thing. Flying under things, you could probably see some things on there, but it's going to be such a brief time. I mean, for the advantage that it gets you, I really don't see, the attractiveness of being able to see something like that.
Yeah, and is it going to have the obstacle avoidance to kind of look upward like the Air 2S, like those fisheye sensors type, so if you could swing the camera up, so I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell right there.
Well, we are being joined right now by Mr. Marcus Crawford.
Marcus,
I thought I heard my name being used in vain, so I figured I better get
in vain.
We didn't say anything good or bad.
We're talking about the gimbal on the from there, and I think it was you that mentioned last night that the Spark had a 2-axis gimbal.
Here's where I think the advantage in this particular case is not so much that it can look up. However, I'll bet you they did that so that drone can pitch forward like crazy.
Mm-hmm. That makes a lot of sense, Marcus. And
something this one can't do, Marcus.
Yeah, that's exactly right. No, it's only got a 30-degree pitch angle, and that's part of the restriction with that drone.
Yeah,
there's no
question
about it.
In figuring also too aerodynamics into it, and putting these through wind tunnel tests and being able to get that pitch angle, and engineers get paid ungodly sums for being able to add maybe a minute or two of flight time. All right. So also with this pitch angle, think about this. It's probably more aerodynamic. So that's gonna lend itself to probably an increased runtime or increased battery life.
There's a guy up north that made a comment. So I don't know if you can see it, but it won't have a 2-axis gimbal. So
a guy up in North Texas.
Yeah, Northern Texas. That's where he's from. Yes, absolutely. He says no on a 2-axis. So
yeah.
Well, one of the other things that I wanted to kind of go over, and everybody, and we've seen this here pretty good. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about was the demographics here for this. All right, and who this drone, who DJI is targeting this drone to, and the mini drones in particular. Okay, and one of the things that I did, the past several days, I looked at the Mini 3 group, and just, I'm not looking at there's thousands of members in the Mini group that I have, the DJI Mini group that I have, but for the most part, I would say the demographic is you're probably looking 20 to maybe 40 years of age. You want to say maybe younger, I don't want to say the word affluent, but younger and enjoying photography, a hobbyist, wanting to explore things like that. I think this is how DJI is kind of marketing this, because and we were talking last night about the smart controller, and adding a smart controller onto this is going to blow the lid off the price. All right, and I think how DJI markets this, and this is something I think we kind of agreed to, is they're going to sell it in different packages. Okay, they're probably going to do an a la carte kind of a thing. All right, you can probably get your standard package, okay, with your one battery. Probably get your Fly More combo, and then maybe get a Fly More combo with a smart controller. Okay, or you can add a smart controller to either of the first two options, kind of thing. But the first two options are obviously going to be well under $1,000. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, it's so hard to know. I mean, yeah. I'll be honest with you, Bill. I struggle to even hazard a guess, to be honest with you. What we do know, and Ron has brought this up many times, is that the Mini, the thing that people are looking for more than anything is a low price. We know that for sure. So it does seem logical that they might have an SE version of it as well as a higher content version. And if I'm up in Canada or in Europe, I might want to pay up for a high content version. I don't know. I don't know how DJI's marketing department is going to look at that. Just all speculation. How about you, Johnny?
Yeah, it's DeMarco and I were. DeMarco called me earlier today because I was picking on him about he got that SE, and I said, hey, don't take that thing out the box, But yeah, it's kind of interesting because he got the combo from B&H with the Air 2S with the smart controller, and I don't think that thing is only capable of flying with that one. So hey, another smart controller maybe just for the Mini 3. So I'm kind of like you, Marcus. I don't know where that sits, Hey, Mr. Brown.
Ron Brown.
Vacation.
Johnny, did I hear you had that new Mini Smart controller already?
No, well, I can't say.
Hey, Johnny, we brought that up last night. If this Mini Smart controller, if it's true, will it only work with the Mini 3, or will it work with other O3 compatible drones from DJI?
That's a good question.
This is the most deluxe mini drone that there ever was. The Johnnie Mini SE, right there it is.
Marcus, now does that work with the Johnnie Smart controller also?
It does. The Johnnie Smart controller works perfect.
Marcus brought that thing to spin up too. He had a blast with that drone.
I got to say this, guys. I really figured out why Ron is on vacation right now. He's been testing the Mini 3. Okay.
Yeah.
He has it. He's sworn to secrecy. Now I know he's told Susan, look, I catch me if I'm talking about it, interrupt me, do whatever you can, because I don't want to ruin the NDA with Frank and everybody. So,
or the DNA.
Or the DNA, as Mikey says. Yeah,
all the A's. But Bill, I got a kind of a spy story for you. A couple weeks before, week or two before I left to come to Florida, it was a real nice day in New Jersey in February. I know that sounds impossible right there itself. So, but it was in the 60s. So I was up to the boardwalk in Ocean City, New Jersey, right, Bill? And guess who I bump into in the boardwalk? Mr. Billy Kyle. And and anyhow, and he was with another guy here. I forget what anybody famous. He introduced me, and then I'm looking Billy around and said, "Billy, any drones around here?" I kept looking behind him. He test anything out? He just kind of laughed or whatever. So if he did have the Mini 3 with him that day,
did he take your phone away from you, Ron? He wouldn't let you take pictures.
I did not see it. When that day. So I can confirm he wasn't tested that moment when I saw him.
Well, one of the things, and I wanted to say this tonight is, when you see drone deals starting to have a lot of things come out, all right, and this kind of corroborates to me that this is, and you guys know that I've said this before, is these leaks don't happen by accident, okay? They come out on purpose. We got spoon fed a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. Now, I know, one of the things that, and a number as far as the pricing is concerned, and I know Lauren has even mentioned it too, is like $649, $650.
And I like that price, Bill. I like that price.
I do too. I think that's a very good price for the drone and for what you're going to get. And something, Ron? This is the kind of drone, when you get it, it's not going to be a Fimi Mini coming out of the box. It's not going to be a Hubsan Mini Pro coming out of the box. Okay.
Let's hope not.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's not going to have Jello coming out of the box, right, Bill?
It's not going to have Jello coming out of the box either. It's firmware update, charge the batteries, boom, good to go. I mean, put the SD card in and take her away. Like
Alan is saying in the chat there, just take my money.
hey, yeah, just send your $649 in early, right?
Yeah.
Get your deposits in now, okay?
That's gonna be $800 with a fly more, probably $849, maybe. I don't know.
Hey, Johnny, that's the price of two tanks full of gas for your truck now, huh?
Yeah, no lie, man. $4.19 a gallon this morning at the station down the street.
I paid $3.89 for premium yesterday.
Yeah, we got all the gas here in Louisiana. We charging the most.
Yeah.
Well,
anybody selling a Tesla real cheap?
Well, Billy's smiling like a butcher's dog right now because he's driving a Tesla. So, one of the other things that I wanted to mention was, and I know Lauren said it, I think it was last week on the show in the chat, he had mentioned something about third week of March. Okay. So we're going to find out some things in the third week of March. We'll probably see at that point in time, the FCC Grant ID database. We'll probably see the label. We'll probably see the actual picture that's submitted to the FCC of the drone itself. And we'll probably get some more, inkling of this. Now, we also found out too, when I had mentioned last night, oh, wouldn't that be something if, we're at the South Florida drone meetup and we all get to go to the Best Buy in Jupiter, Florida to be able to pick up our Mini 3s. But Lauren indicated that won't happen. So it won't be right at the 1st of April.
Yeah. Hey, Bill, can I slow you down just for a second there now?
Sure.
Marcus and I and Michael Wright, we had that dream of going to Best Buy and picking up our Mavic 3 at Spin Up. But do you think this will be will the Mini 3 will the Mini 3 actually be in stores and release date, or will it be like a Mavic 3 where everything's done pre-order for the first week or two?
I think they're going to be in stores, and the reason I say this is is the physical size of the box. All right, for the Mavic 3 is bigger than the physical size of the box for the Mini 3. Okay, you're going to get probably at least, let's say, at least 2 minis in an area. You'll get 1 Mavic 3 in. Okay. Go ahead,
Can I set the stage, Bill?
Go.
So I just want to expand a little bit about what Ron was talking about. I want to draw the mental picture for everybody. So the night of the Mavic 3, right? And Ron and Michael and I are sitting around, and so Michael and I end up ordering it online. But our thought was that we would go down to Best Buy the next day, and hey, if they had it in the store, we would just buy it, and then we could cancel our online orders, right? Plenty of time to do that because they wouldn't have shipped yet. Well, in fact, I think we both specified, we bought from Best Buy, pardon me. So we specified store pickup, so it wouldn't have been a problem. Anyway, we head to this Best Buy that Michael knew about, and wow, there's a big line waiting for Best Buy to open. So, we're kind of excited. We're thinking, hey, there's got to be Mavic 3s in there, right? So, boy, we're standing in line and just, rubbing our hands together going, yeah, we're going to get that Mavic 3 today. And we go and we stand in front of that case. And there might have been like maybe one of the original DJI Mavic Pros or something. And there was probably an old original Autel Evo there. That was about it. I've never been so disappointed in my life. We both looked at that case, and we looked at each other, and we were just crestfallen. It was
and I got a little secret here. What you see in those display cases are dummy models. Okay, they do not function at all. I've seen them for sale on eBay. If you want to buy one of those, it's not. You can't fold it. It's all, the plastic is all molded together. Okay. But it's designed is a show model, okay?
Hey, Bill, when I ordered that Fimi Mini, I think they sent me the dummy for that.
Probably. I agree.
No, John Coopy got the dummy. He got the dummy one.
Oh, he sure did. Yeah. I was lucky with my Fimi Mini. I don't know. I had the luck. I don't have an ounce of Irish blood in me, and I had the luck of the Irish with that one.
I was even lucky if somebody wanted to buy it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Marcus was having all his problems and everything. Well, and I got to say this, okay? Marcus saved me a ton of grief and a lot of money when he told both Ron and I, he said, you know what? You need to cancel your Mini Pro orders, for Hudson. So you need to do it, okay? Just trust me on this one, okay? So I know both Ron and I canceled them.
He saved Johnny the money too.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Hey, it's my pleasure, guys.
Marcus saved me a lot of money. Marcus saved me a lot of money recently.
Well, one of the things that I think is going to be coming up here, and we're going to see this, is we start to see more of these leaks. Okay, we're going to see some actual pictures of the Mini 3. Okay, not just these sketches or a Photoshop of a box with a bad Photoshop of the smart controller with an image on it, kind of a thing. All right. Now, I think what we've seen from Drone Deals, I think that's probably realistic. Whether or not it is in actuality the Mini 3, we'll find out shortly. But I think in the third week of March, we're going to find out things. We'll probably have a better idea in terms of pricing, availability, what the drone will actually look like, maybe some of the specifications. So, and that's coming up shortly. Okay. Third week of March.
And to remind you that, when the Mavic 3 rumors came out, for the spec rumors, they were probably 95% right or better or whatever. So
yeah, they were, that's a good point, Ron. They were pretty spot on. I mean, we were,
so these rumors with the Mini 3 could be just as accurate.
Ron, I got a question though. How many secrets can you keep? Because you were in New York and you may have seen a Mini 3 Now you're in Florida and you're going to see a secret spot to fly tomorrow. So, I mean, how many secrets can you keep?
Well, you know what, us us top agents and whatever, us drone 7 agents and whatever, live sealed, the Bank of New York or whatever, the vault,
Yeah.
See, Ron is sworn to secrecy here, and I know Captain Ray Kelly's going to make him take an oath tomorrow.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He goes to the secret place where Ray flies. That he can't. He'll probably do like they do in the movies. Get the black hood, put it over Ron's head, and take him there. So Ron doesn't know how to get there.
I've got an update though. TJ can't make it tomorrow. He's got to work, and he was the one to actually organize it. So I'm trying to get a hold of Captain Ray to see if we're still going to go, because the organizer for TJ, he has to work tomorrow. So
y'all are still going.
I may not see the secret spot, Johnny.
Oh, you're gonna see it. You're gonna see it.
I've been studying.
When I get to these secret spots, I got to turn off all my GPS location stuff so nobody can track me.
Pin the location when you get there.
Yes. I've been studying that map of Florida quite a bit. And, I was looking at Port Charlotte and that Peace River and stuff. That looks like there might be some good flying there. Of course, that's on the other side of the state. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's on our side of the state.
That's by Bill. Yeah.
Yeah. That's down by us. So, the pipeline is moving. Things are getting active. We should, next week in all essence is the 3rd week of March. So, we should be getting a lot more information coming out in the information flow. And as you see that, more things are going to start to trickle out. And, you'll see that information from the FCC Grant ID database. But one thing that I wanted to, John and I started to touch on it, Marcus did too, and I wanted to get your input, Ron, is this whole concept about a 2-axis gimbal on the Mini 3. What's your thought on that, Ron?
Well, first, I just want to say that, you probably said already, but, you about talking about the database. When it hits that means that's 100% real. When you discover it out there, it's a lock, right? It's coming. It's just a matter of days and weeks then. So that's the ultimate telltale sign for us, correct, Bill? When
correct.
That database.
It's 100%. Yeah. It's a done deal.
Yeah.
I mean, because when you get a file with the FCC and they publish that picture, of the label inside the drone, it's done. Okay.
It's just a matter of days or weeks or whatever. Marcus has a point.
Well, I'm just looking at Ray Kelly's comment there. His secret spot. He's talking about he used to have a building lot in Port Charlotte, so that could be a secret spot. How do we know? It's a little bit of a drive, but
back in the 90s, huh? I remember the 90s. But to answer Bill's question, the 2-axis gimbal thing. Now that will bring the ability. Again, we're going old school with Parrot and Nafi. That'll bring the ability to put that camera up, to fly under things, to see the bottom of stuff. So that is a unique feature that apparently the only drone before this one was the Nafi, and this drone will have this. But is that a feature you're willing to give up that 3rd axis and rely on electronic image stabilization to fill that void? Now,
can I speak to that, Ron?
I'll finish my thought, and then we'll go right into. Now, it's been 3 or 4 years since the Anafi was developed, so that 3rd axis of ESI should be much better than it was on the Anafi. Marcus.
Well, that you just stole my thunder. That's exactly what I was going to say. No, it's fine. What we know about DJI is they won't release it if it's not really good, right? So, I think you could be onto something. It very well may be EIS. But I'm willing to bet it'll be flawless.
Yeah,
and that may be the one rumor that we're hearing that I'm not entirely, so I'm not entirely sold on anything. But that would be the one that I would challenge the most. But again, if it allows that camera to go, look all the way up, which it sounds really cool. But when I had the Anafi, I hardly ever used it, so I don't know if I'm willing to sacrifice the 3rd mechanical axis to gain that. I mean, I'll throw it back to Bill. Are you willing to throw away that 3rd mechanical axis to have the camera tilt all the way up?
Well, I was thinking back to when I had the Spark. Okay, it's been 4 or 5 years since I've had the Spark. It was 2017 when I had it, and I remember the quality of the footage was pretty doggone good. Okay. You know,
for its day.
For its day. It,
Yeah.
it was, you know, it really, really did a decent job of that. You know, my big thing with the Spark was the runtime, because, you know, you'd be just getting to where, you know, you're getting a great shot and it's like, better return back to home, because you're, you know, you're going to lose your battery life here. Okay. Whereas, you know, now we don't have to worry about that. So, you know, with this 2-axis gimbal, it kind of concerns me that, you know, we're at a point, you know, with the technology, okay, and the availability of things. You know, the only place I really see 2-axis gimbals are on the $100, $150, $175 drones. Okay. You know, I don't see them on, you know, even, you know, wash my mouth out with soap, the Fimis and the Hubsons. You know, there's no 2-axis gimbals there for these kind of drones. There's 3-axis gimbals. So, you know, I gotta think either one or two thoughts here on this, and either, you know, like Marcus said, they probably beefed up this electronic image stabilization to the point, you know, that's going to compensate for that lack of that gimbal, or what we're looking at here may have been a earlier design of it, and, you know, I don't know. I don't know at this point.
Bill, do you think some shoppers are going to have reservations of purchasing the drone that we see in the diagram, the one that's going to cost over $1,000? How many people are willing to put down over $1,000 to get a 2-axis drone, Bill?
That's an excellent question, Ron. And I think what you're going to find with this, you'll find a lot of people sit back until they start seeing some good video from this, okay, and not just unboxings and setups and you know, and all that, but some actual quality video, and to see how this thing does out in the wild. Because until then, you're not going to know. Okay, you're going to see all the promo shots from DJI, which will be great, but until you see the Billy Kyles out there, you see you know, Kelly Shores, you see Rick Smith and Aldrin, you know, take these videos out and put them through their paces and get to see the actual video. I think a lot of people are going to hold back because, you know, they're not sure. And quite frankly, I mean, I'm going to get the drone no matter what, but I think it's going to be interesting to see how this gets handled and how it looks. Marcus.
Hey, Bill. So what I want to say is I'm with you. I'm going to buy the darn drone no matter what. However, there's a couple things about this rendering that I struggle with, and that's the fact that on that controller, it just doesn't. Why would they put a smart controller with their bottom end drone? That kind of throws me off a little bit. Maybe, who knows? You know, their marketing people are probably smarter than us. The other thing is just the appearance of that product. Why do those front sensors need to be so oversized like that? And yeah, Lauren is talking about EIS and resources, so that requires more computing power, right? And particularly, we're talking about that yaw to make that look smooth. So I'm just not so sure about this particular rendering, and you never know. DJI has surprised us in the past, and like to Ron's point, often when we see this earlier stuff, it turns out to be more right than it is wrong. However, this one just, I don't know. I'm just not sure.
Hey, I want to answer Marcus' question a little bit about, you know, why would they put a smart controller with their lower end drone? And again, I'm just like Marcus. I always think of U.S. based drone flyers, but if you live in the country where you can only fly a 250 gram drone, you still want to be a professional drone pilot and do real estate and all the other stuff. You want a smart controller. You want to be standing there with a toy controller flying this. You want to be able to see in bright sunlight, and you don't have the option of having a Mavic 3 or an Air 2S or whatever, but you still need the best controller and screen. So this package here, Marcus, could be more geared to those countries that require 250 gram drones or less. And so this would be targeted at those countries and the professional users in those countries.
I think that is an excellent point. In Canada and Europe, what I want to know is from all of you guys, Do you guys think Lauren is just laughing at us right now?
Oh, I know he is.
Well, hey, while he's flying the Mini 3 around his room.
Yeah, he's watching the Mini 3 going around, and he's just laughing his head off at us.
He's got all our names. He's got all our names, and everything we said wrong, he's putting a little check by it.
He's got a sticky note up there for everything. Bill said this, Ron said this, Johnny said this, Marcus said this, and he's just sitting there and he's checking stuff off and he's laughing. Okay?
He just said something about you can lead a horse to water or something. So
he sent a bunch of tweets to CEDALEV too. But I'm going to answer Marcus's or go on Marcus' thought here. Yeah, when this drone comes out, I will not be buying this edition on the screen here with the Smart Controller. I will be buying the base unit, or I will be buying the unit that again, it does have the Smart Controller, but as I said last night, but I still want the drone with a good camera. I want the good drone with a base controller. I don't want the dumbed down drone. And I don't know. I hope they don't lock us into the good drone only comes with Smart Controller, and the base drone, which has a lesser camera and maybe no avoidance, comes with the standard controller. Any thoughts, guys?
Those combos could mess us up. I tell your comment is spot on, Ron. Those combos could really mess us up. And what Ron and I both talk about this all the time. The most important thing is that flipping camera. So hopefully both the base unit and whatever has the good camera, whatever that may be. Whether it's
Marcus, I've talked about this. I'd rather kick the obstacle avoidance and keep the good camera than the other way around. But I know that's probably not the way it's going to go.
One thing, and I hate bringing this up again, is this 2-axis gimbal thing. And I know we talked about this a little bit earlier about the pitch bank angle, okay, and being able to do this, okay. Now, you look at the gimbal, the way the gimbal is on the Mavic 3, and it's freestanding, okay. It has no encumbrances whatsoever. All right. And in here, these 2-axis gimbals have a little protection from wind resistance. Okay. And being that a gimbal is such, I don't want to use the word fragile, but it's susceptible to the wind. Okay. And in windy environments, it's gonna move around. Now I know there's, stabilization and other things like that, but is this being done on purpose to make sure that you won't have any stabilization issues with a gimbal, and being able to get that pitch bank angle with this? What are your guys' thoughts?
Here's what I'm going to say. This is a DJI's $250 250 is what Johnny paid for his. Look at the yaw axis on this gimbal. Why, if you're coming out with a new model, wouldn't you have a 3-axis gimbal?
Absolutely. I totally agree.
I agree.
Better camera, they're not going to step backwards. I don't see it.
Yeah, I agree. I think in the long run, I think all 4 of us would agree. We want the best camera that they can put in this drone. Okay. And I'll sacrifice some other things to get a better camera on a drone, because bottom line is this, okay? You can have the best obstacle avoidance in the world. You can have the best OcuSync in the world. You can have the best smart controller in the world. But if you have a camera that produces okay video and not video that's going to pop out and grab people's attention, what are you flying your drone for? Okay,
I might as well keep the Mini 2. I might as well just keep the Mini 2 at that point, Bill.
Exactly. Okay. Well, it's like in the old adage, I'll borrow a thing from ham radio. Okay. You can go out and buy a $15,000 receiver unit. Okay. And you hook it up to a so-so antenna, you're going to get so-so results. Okay. It's the old adage here, keep it simple. You spend more money, in ham radio, you can spend $1,000 for a receiver and spend more money on getting a great antenna. You're going to have better results. And it's the same thing here with this. Okay. I would rather have a better camera than a lot of the options that people are talking about. Now, I'll take obstacle avoidance. I don't have a problem with that. Okay. But, the more I think about it, this 2-axis gimbal thing, I think this was probably an earlier design concept kind of a thing. from my standpoint, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I don't think it's going to have a 2-axis gimbal. I think we'll have a 3-axis gimbal with this.
Hey, I just was looking, quadcopters and tech, I think brings up a pretty good point. What if there was something inside the enclosure itself possible? It's a good thought.
That's a good thought.
Yeah.
Johnny, what are your thoughts on all this kind of stuff?
Well, I think the Marcus, y'all touched on it last night. You know, of course, it's going to have a better camera, and like I said, you know, I just don't think with the 2-axis that they'll step backwards. I think they'd be taking a step backwards myself. But hey, it's going to be a great drone, and you know, Marcus. Hey, we talked about. I know last night y'all were talking about it, and I kind of like ran off my mouth saying, who would, if you had the Mavic 3 and you got the Air2S, why would you need the Mini 3? Well, guess what? I'm gonna be the first sucker to order it. So.
and what I think, Johnny, is, I mean, this mini 3 may be so good that maybe you only need, if you got the Mavic 3, maybe you only need the Mini 3. Maybe you don't need the between drone. You know.
No,
you know,
I mean, listen, I totally agree. And Ron, you did bring up a good point, and Marcus touched on it. You know, that package, maybe it'll be like a center, I don't say a center type version, but you know, that you'll have that small controller version and maybe a regular, I don't know.
A $5,000 Mini, Johnny.
Well, that might be pushed there.
Yeah, Johnny, will the Mini 3 shoot ProRes, Apple ProRes video?
Yeah,
ProRes. Short of that.
Yeah. Internal memory.
You know what? We should have just called this show "Providing Entertainment for Lauren" on our show. We're giving Lauren.
Well, Lauren's on a fly. He's on a Fly for Fun show tomorrow night with Bill, and hey, you know, I'm sure he'll get us tomorrow night.
That's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to I'm going to be on with Johnny and Ray and Lauren tomorrow night. So you guys.
So we'll get the whole scoop. We'll get the whole scoop tomorrow night. Then
we'll get the whole. We'll get something. I don't know.
We'll get something. We may get the silent treatment.
Hey, what are you saying, Johnny? Do Ron and I get the night off?
Well, look. It has a 3-hour flight time too.
Hey, Ron. You know, let me just say, if Captain Ray's, if y'all going to a secret spot that's gas is $4 something a gallon, you might not want to go to that secret spot. You might want to stay on the east coast of Florida there.
Well, maybe I can get a bicycle down there.
Yeah, get you an e-bike. No, but hey, the Mini 3 is exciting. It's getting that time of year, you know. There'll be that drone will be coming out, and of course, Autel had this release, and you know what else will they be? There'll be some drones coming out here shortly.
Probably going to have.
And what's exciting for me is the Mini 3 is finally coming out. Usually, the Mini 3 comes out in November, early November, and after a couple of weeks, I have to put it away all winter because winter comes and it's too windy and cold. Now it's going to come out just the time where it comes out and the weather's just getting better. So it could be my summertime drone. When the Spark came out originally, that was my summertime drone. I could take that little drone around any place in summer. People would see me, you know, I was the days as a fan and people see you with a big fan. They say, oh boy, look at that. That guy's trouble over there. He's got this big fan. You got the little Spark out in public location. People say, oh, look, that guy's got a little toy over there. Isn't that cute? You know, this would be the same way with the Mini 3. You could take it to places and people say, oh, look, that's just a little toy.
I see Marcus got a little spot there that a box will fit right behind him. He's got a perfect spot for a Mini 3 box.
For God's sakes, the struggle is real.
Question of the day. What did you think regarding the DJI Mini 3 latest update? Let me know in the comments section below. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, it's a great day to fly.